G'day, it's Pete here. I'm back for week 1, day 3. Today we are going to be talking about signals. So I'm going to talk about different types of signals, what to play, what they are. I'll go through attitude, count, suit preference, and also talk a bit about playing honours. So we'll start off with types of signals. So there are 3 main types of signals. There are more signals than that, but there are 3 main types, which are attitude signals, count signals, and suit preference signals. There are other ones which include Smith echo, which is a complicated one that some experts use. There's also odds and evens, which is sort of a combination of attitude and suit preference. There's a few other different types, and they come in, if you play attitude, you might play low encourage, or you might play high encourage. There's lots of different ways you can play these signals. There's lots of different signals that you can convey. Some people only play one type of signal, but what's usually best is you change a little bit based on situation. It doesn't need to be too much, but some different situations call for maybe a different signal. Anyway, talking about what to play. Okay, so I often get asked this. I want to know what signals to play, and to be fair, it really doesn't matter too much what your signals are, as long as you know what signal your partner is giving you, and your partner knows how to give that signal correctly. That is the important thing. Okay, so you want to signal at trick 1 and lots of different tricks. But it's important to always know what the signal is. If you do change your signal based on situation, you need to know under what situations does it change and what signal is my partner giving. I like to play count. I also play attitude with some people. Other top players prefer to give attitude. There's lots of different main signals, but you need to know what signal your partner is giving you so that you can actually interpret the data they're trying to give you. Okay, you only want to be giving signals if there's not a specific card you need to play. If you have to win the trick, then you have to just play that. Also, you don't typically signal with honors. It's just sort of those lower cards when you're following suit. They're your main signaling cards. They're what you want to use. You want to understand them. Okay. Now, there's a few different types of signals. So attitude is a very common one. People either play high encourage or low encourage. Low encourage is a bit more prominent than high encourage, and it tells partner whether or not you want them to continue the suit or you like the suit, things like that. It doesn't necessarily say that you have an honor in that suit, but you're saying that the defense is going along the right path with your partner playing that. Okay. Count signals, on the other hand, tell your partner how many of the suit you have. So you can either play natural count or reverse count. Both are pretty common. You can do either. Natural count means that if you play a high card, then a low card, you've got an even amount of cards. Whereas if you start with a low card and then play a high card, it's an odd amount of cards. And reverse is just swapping those around. Suit preference is where you tell your partner, other than this suit and other than trumps, which suit you actually want them to play. So you're signaling out of the other, usually 2 suits, sometimes there's 3 or more, but you're trying to tell a partner what's your favorite suit for them to play. This is not usually the prominent signal on opening lead, but it's a very useful signal to be used in other situations. Okay, so we've got some hands. We'll just run through some of them and talk about what we can do. Okay, so north-south get to 3 no trumps via Stamen, and you're the west hand, and let's say partner leads the ace of hearts. Now, whether you're playing low encourage or anything like that, the main thing here is your partner's got some useful information as well. So they can see the dummy, they can see the singleton heart, and they've had the bidding to know that north doesn't have 4 hearts. So they know that these hearts are all going to be good. You don't know if your partner's got ace king queen or ace king fifth or what their holding is, but they've got good hearts and they're going to continue them. You want them to continue hearts because you've got 4 and you know it's a good spot, but you don't actually want to play the 2. So signaling always comes secondary to using bridge thinking. You want to try and think about defense and then use the signaling to sort of assist that. In this sort of situation, your partner already has lots of information, but the key card in your hand is actually this 2 of hearts here. If you throw that 2 of hearts away, you are unable to get 5 tricks. So don't always think, like, if you've got your signals, don't think that you always have to signal, because partner can't work anything out. Partner wants to use their thoughts on defense and then aid them with the signal. So here they already know they're going to cash hearts. If you want to encourage, I would just play the 7 of hearts. That's the lowest heart that I'm willing to throw away because I need that 2. Now it's not a particularly low heart, but partner can still work it out. Now as it would go on, we still need that 2, and we want to keep the 2 so that partner can win the 4th round of this suit. Now notice that if we hadn't thrown the 7, the 8 and the 10 away, when our partner played this 4th round of hearts, would actually win. So no matter what your signal here is, whether it was reverse count, natural count, low encourage, high encourage, we need to keep that 2. So don't just think that defense is all about signals. Signals are important, but they have to be combined with actually thinking about the hand. Okay. On another hand, if South opens 1 no and it goes something like 3 no trumps, some people do a couple of different things here. Oops, I made the wrong person bid it. So on an auction like this, some people do things like ace for attitude, king for count. That's another fine method. I don't mind it. Or otherwise, against no trumps, there are other methods of leading. Things like where you can lead the underlead for unblock. So if you led something like the king here, this would say if you had the queen, throw it away. Alternatively, you could lead the ace and your partner gives you just their attitude signal or their count signal, depending on what is actually going on. So it's important to know what your lead agreements are, and then also what signal you're going to get under the different situation. If you just lead an ace and you're playing low encourage, even though you've got 4 spades here, you do not want to encourage here. If your partner's got ace king queen, it's fine, they can continue it. But here you just want to throw a high one away, because if your partner continues with the ace then the king, declare is going to score their queen and they'll make their contract. You've got the ace of diamonds here. Those diamonds aren't running straight away. You want your partner to try and find an entry to your hand so you can lead the spades through. There are some, unless your partner's got ace king queen jack or ace king queen fifth, it won't matter. And if they don't have one of them, you need them not to continue the suit. So that's why I've discouraged with this holding, and you can go from there. So it's important to think about what the whole holding is, whether or not you want your partner to continue it or not. And here with the ace of diamonds, even with 4 card spades, you want to tell partner not to continue the suit. So with all signals that you can come up with, there'll be some situations where they work and some situations where they utterly fail and can't, for each signaling method, there are some hands that they work on and some hands that they don't. This is why I don't think it matters too much as to what signaling methods you do choose, as long as you know for certain what signal your partner is actually doing. Anyway, talking about playing honors, so let's just have that auction go like this: 2 clubs, 2 no trumps, 3 no trumps. Okay, and your partner's on lead and they lead the ace of hearts, and you can discourage because you don't have anything. You could play the 10 if you wanted to, but North's just going to continue with all his hearts. It's important here on your first discard. First discard's another key spot where you want to discuss your signals. Lots of people play low and courage here. Some people play odds and evens. Some people play count. Some people play suit preference or McKenney, that sort of stuff. This is all fine. It's just important to know what your signals are. Okay, but sometimes your signal just won't cut it, right? So let's say we're playing low in courage. Okay, there's 6 of hearts and they discard, and we have to discard. So we could try discarding a diamond and discarding our low diamond, the 7. Is our partner going to read that? Well, that kind of looks pretty high, but it's not like it looks like a high diamond, so it could easily be misinterpreted. Whereas if you pitch a spade, we're going to pitch the 8, which does look like a high spade. But then we looked at our diamonds, and you know, the 7 and the 8, they're kind of murky. It's not clear that our partner will be able to interpret either of them. If we were going to discard the 8 of spades, that would be a possibility. Sometimes throwing away an honor is a good thing. Here it's actually going to cost a trick. But if we wanted to absolutely make sure our partner found the right switch, we could throw away the ace of diamonds. Okay. Now you wouldn't do this in match points because costing the trick is too expensive. But if you don't think your partner's going to be able to read your signal, you can throw away an honor. And what that says is I've got all the cards below it. I've got the ones under it. If you throw away the king, you've got king, queen, probably jack. If you throw an ace, you've got ace, king, probably queen. But here we can throw away the ace. It does get rid of a trick, but there is no misunderstanding for our partner here. They are going to play a diamond. They'll know we can do that. So throwing away honors is something worth considering. It does clear it up very easily for your partner. If you're playing match points, I'd just throw the 8 of spades, discouraging spades, and hope that they can get it from there. Alright, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about suit preference. So here, north-south get to 4 hearts. And we're on lead, we've got ace-king, so we just lead the ace. Now, north here has a doubleton diamond, and if you're playing count, you just give your count signal here. If you are playing attitude, you want to encourage with this because you do want to get that 3rd round rough in. So if you play low encourage, I'd play that. If you play natural count, I'd play the 10. If you play reverse count, I'd play 3. Whatever your signal is, you want to give the appropriate signal. If it's encouraging, I would encourage on this. If you play attitude, I'd give my encouraging signal. If you play count, you give your count signal. And yeah, so ace king, and now south probably thinks that well, especially if they got a count signal, they know that they can give their partner a ruff. So if south is trying to give their partner a ruff, suit preference comes in a lot here. So what I like to do, and this is when talking about what to play, this is one of the signals that I strongly recommend because it's used almost universally. Okay, which is when you give your partner a ruff, you want to tell them what suit to come back in with your hand. Now, it's usually excluding the trump suit and excluding the suit that you're leading. Now, if I had the ace of spades in the south hand and I wanted my partner to work out how to get back to my hand, I could lead a high diamond, which says I want the higher of the remaining 2 suits. So if you lead the 9 of diamonds here, it would say, partner, if you trump this, I want you to try and get back to my hand with a spade. So if I liked spades, I would say, yeah, I want you to come back with a spade. If on the other hand I liked clubs, I'd return the lower card. And this would say, if by giving my partner a ruff with the lowest card in the suit, it says, I want you to return the lower of the other suits. Not trumps, not the suit I'm playing on, but the other 2 suits, I want you to return the lower one. So if I had a club honor, that's what I would return. And if instead I've got nothing like the hand I do, I just return my middle one, which says, you know, up to you, partner, don't hope that I've got something. So suit preference is very valuable. whenever you are trying to give your partner a ruff, you want them to be able to get back to your hand, so it's important to tell them how they can actually do that. So the way it's done is, if you want a higher ranking suit of the two missing suits, not trumps, not the suit you're playing, higher ranking, you lead the higher card. If you want the lower ranking, you'd lead the lower. If you wanted the lower suit, you play the lower card. And if you got no preference, you play a middle one. Anyway, that's suit preference. Very valuable to use. I implore you to take that up. When giving your partner a ruff, signal how to get back to your hand via suit preference. Yeah. Okay, that's it on signals. Main thing is there's lots of different signals. I'm not fussed on which ones you do. The only one I'd really suggest that you take up is that when you are giving your partner a ruff, give them a suit preference signal. Attitude, count, they're both fine. You can also do odds and evens, Smith echo, all kinds of things like that. You don't really need to change up your signaling method. It's important to know what your signals are at different stages, what information you are actually conveying to your partner, but you don't need to go into heaps of detail to change your signals. The only one I strongly recommend is this suit preference when you're giving your partner a ruff. Also, don't forget that signals aren't everything. There's still lots of bridge logic that you want to use when defending. You can do things like playing honors to clear up situations. But yeah, anyway, that's it from me on signals. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.